Hi, I'm Wanda. I'm an instructor here at the Rec Center at Cane Creek, and today we're going to be doing a slow flow vinyasa yoga practice. So let's begin by coming to the back of our mats. And we're going to begin by centering, so you can either start in a simple cross-legged position, elevating your hips if that makes it more comfortable for you, or you can follow my lead and just come into Virasana, Hero's Pose. So whichever position you choose, let's just find that. Let's find a place of comfort, and I'll take a big deep inhale in. Nice long deep exhale out. Let the body sink. Let's let go of any tightness. Big inhale in. Slowly letting the body sink into the exhale. Let the shoulders get heavy, letting go of tension. And another big inhale in. And with this exhale, let's gently close our eyes, gently leave the lips on top of each other, and just bring our awareness to our breath. And just giving the body permission to soften, giving the mind permission to work to a place of quietness. Just giving ourselves permission to arrive at this moment for our practice. And on the next inhale, let's gently open our eyes. We're going to do a pranayama. It's called Kalabhati breath. It's an energizing breath to help us bring energy into the practice and into our day. So this is a very strong breath on the exhale, and the inhale is very passive. So I suggest that perhaps you bring a hand to the diaphragm. I want to start this and just follow me. You'll feel the diaphragm just pressing into the back body to let go of the air of the breath. The inhale just kind of slides in naturally. There's no effort there. So taking a big breath in, and here we go, and stop. Let's take a big inhale in. Nice long deep exhale out. Let's hold that exhale completely emptying the body. The hand comes to the diaphragm. Another big deep inhale in. As we begin Kalabhati again, and breath, big inhale in. Nice long exhale out. Holding the body empty for just a second. And now returning to your normal breath. Let's just take a moment to see if you can notice another energy entering into the body. So we're going to come on to our hands and our knees are underneath the hip, the fingers are wide, the arms are engaged. The 10 toes come under as we float the knees about 2 to 3 inches off of the mat, engage the core. This helps to wake up the core. Now we're going to take an inhale here. Now we're going to open the knees and press the hips back toward the heels on an exhale, really pressing through the hands, the arms, lengthening the back. On an inhale, the knees come back together. They're floating over the mat. And on your next exhale, let's open the knees, press those hips back, find the length all along the back body here. And we inhale in into the floating tabletop. The knees are floating. And your next exhale, let's take it back and really find some nice length here. Let the hips become so very heavy. And coming back forward, the knees come back together and they gently float down to the mat. Let's come onto the top of our feet. Let's take the head up and the tailbone up into a big cow belly breath. And a nice long exhale into the angry cat. Now coming down to elbows. We're going to extend the right leg out behind us. We're on their toes, pressing strongly through the right heel. We're going to extend the left arm out, reach through the left arm, and now just let the heart float down to the mat. Perhaps the forehead can rest on the mat, finding length in the back body, the side body here. Bringing that left elbow back in, to shoot that left foot back to meet the right and find ourselves in a plank pose. Now the right knee comes up underneath the hip. The left leg is extended. Let's walk that right hand out. Walk those fingers out. And again, as we let the heart dip down toward the mat, the forehead might meet the mat. Let's just take some breath here. So bringing the right elbow in, let's shoot that right leg back to meet the left and find ourselves in our plank pose. Now we're going to slowly let the body down. Come on to the top of the feet, press through the elbows, open up the chest, reach to the crown of the head. The legs are strong and engaged into the position of the Sphinx. A gentle back bend, a gentle front opening of the body. Now we're going to let the body down. Hands are going to slide underneath the shoulders as we take the toes under, coming up through a tabletop or pushing up into a plank pose. Let's pause here. Now take the hips up, push them back into a down dog. So the fingers are wide, the arms are strong. We're looking for length from the tip of the fingers all the way up to the sit bones. And then length from the sit bones to the heels. The head is heavy. The shoulders come into the back body. The elbows roll slightly in. Now let's just move our heels. One comes up, the other comes down, just finding some movement in our down dog. Perhaps you'd like to take a bit of a twist. Just bring in some of the fluid into the hips, some over fluid. Now the heels come up high. Let's press with strong legs as we reach those sit bones up toward the ceiling. Arms are strong. The heart is dipping down toward the mat. And now let's slowly allow those heels just to fall toward the mat. Whether they reach or whether they don't is not irrelevant. It's just looking for that length in the back body. Now let's look at our hands and very quietly step one foot forward, the other foot comes forward, and let's just fall into a very passive forward bend. take the palms up, let the wrist rest. Let's think about taking this movement into the hips rather than the lower back. Let the head be so very heavy. Now the hands come to mat or to shin as we bring the back up nice and long, as if we're reaching from the tailbones to the crown of the head. Our core engages automatically. And the next exhale, falling right back into that standing forward bend. Relaxing the back, relaxing the central nervous system. Now placing our fingertips on mat, let's find the feet hip width as we take our hips down about parallel to the knees. Now reaching from the tailbone to the crown of the head, now let's reach through the fingertips and find our weight a little bit more onto the heel of the foot and find length from fingertips to the hips. Now your next, let's all take a big inhale in. And let's take the arms behind us as we reach and exhale. Big inhale in. Exhaling back as we reach. Let's keep those hips low. Big inhale forward. Nice complete exhale as we reach back, opening the chest. Inhaling forward. Let's take the palms down. Press the hands down as we come down to a standing position. The arms float up. We reach up. The hands come together. We're going to fall between the heart center with the hands. The hips hinge. The knees soften and fall right back into that forward bend. Take the arms forward, reach up, get tall, so very tall here. And again, the hands float through the heart center as we fall into that standing forward bend. Now we're going to bring our feet closer together. So the big toes are touching. There's a little bit of space between our heels. Again, the hips are going to descend down behind the knees, parallel to the knees. We're going to squeeze those knees in. The arms are going to come up into the position of Utkatasana or chair pose. A little bit more weight onto the heels. You should be able to peek down and see your toes. Let's make those hips heavy and bring the hands into heart center. Take a breath. Now we're going to hook this left elbow over the right knee. So press that elbow into the knee. Take the right shoulder toward the ceiling, pressing with the right hand to take it even higher. A nice twist for our spine. Let's come back to heart center. Find a breath here. And now the right elbow is coming over the left knee as we press to that knee to take the left shoulder toward the ceiling. Maybe looking at the ceiling if that feels good. Let's come back to center. Take a breath here. And now let's just fall right back into that standing forward bend, bringing the feet back underneath the hips. And just relax into the standing forward bend. Now planting our hands on the mat, we're going to step back one leg at a time, find ourselves in a plank pose or a modified plank, which is having the knees on the mat. So the knees come to mat. Let's keep that contraction in the core. Elbows are going to bend into the body as the chest comes down, elbows toward the ceiling. The legs are very strong. We're going to bring the shoulders up, elbows back, legs are strong. Bringing the upper body back down, bringing the toes under, pressing up into the plank pose. And then taking the hips back into the down dog. Now let's look at our hands. We're going to pick the right foot up and take it to the inside of the right hand. So we're pressing through that back heel, reaching to the crown of the head. The hips are heavy. Now the left knee comes down, and we're going to take the arms up, reach up, get so very tall here. Hands come together as we come to heart center. Let's have those left toes tucked under as we press to the right foot. Bring the left knee up and come into the crescent pose. Now we're going to shoot the arms out. Lean over right leg. Let's all take a big inhale here. And on that exhale, let's press back, reach back. And inhale up. Exhale as we press back. And lean, inhale forward. Exhale, pressing back. Inhale forward, and now let's come up. Let the arms spread apart. Let's reach for the ceiling. Hands come to heart center. And then hands come to the mat as we pick up the right foot. Let's take it back to meet the left foot. We find ourselves in the plank pose. Either modified plank or full plank. The knees come down. Let's come to the top of our feet. Elbows come into the body. As we lower ourselves down, legs become engaged. Pressing the shoulders up, the head follows. Opening the chest. Coming back down, bringing the toes under, pressing up to the plank. Hips come back to the down dog. Take a breath. Now let's look at between our hands. Pick up the left foot and let's take it to the inside of the left hand. So again, press into that back heel. Reach into the crown of the head. The hips are heavy, they're sinking. Let's take the right knee down. Let's inhale the arms up. Reach up, look up if it feels good. Finding our balance. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Tucking the back toes, coming off of right knee as we shoot the arms out. Now let's all take a big inhale in. And we exhale as we reach back. Inhale in. Exhale, reaching the arms back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Let's reach forward on the inhale and complete that as we come up to standing. The hands come apart as we reach up and maybe look up. Hands together, they come to heart center as we take the hands down to the mat, picking up left foot. Let's take it back to meet the right and push back into a down dog. So we're going to place our weight on the left foot. The left leg is going to float up to the sky. Now let's take it up just as high as we can get it. We're going to bend that knee, the right knee, and maybe peep around and see if we can see the right foot. So let's take that knee up just as high as we can. Stack the hips on top of each other. And let's just enjoy this nice hip opener. If you'd like to go a little further, you can take the right foot down to the mat, Roll onto the outside of the left foot and bring that right arm over. Take the hips up into the wild thing. Rolling right back, right hand comes down, right leg comes up. Let's bring the knee to nose. Really contract the core. Take the leg right back up. Let's bring the knee in and let's take it to left elbow. Shoot that right leg out. And let's just take those hips down toward the mat. Pushing back up, bringing the knee back into the chest, back up to the ceiling, reach to that foot. Take the right foot down to meet the left, push back into the down dog. Let's come forward into our plank pose or modified plank. The knees come down, come to the top of the feet, elbows bend into the body as we slowly lower ourselves down, opening the chest, coming all the way up, press those legs. Coming right back down, toes come under, pressing up through the tabletop or the plank. And the next exhale pushes the hips back into the down dog. So let's look at our hands now as we place left foot up beside to the inside of the left hand. Again, we're pressing back deeply into that right heel. Now let's bring the right foot forward and just fall into a standing forward bend. Pressing strongly through strong legs, strong feet. The arms come forward. Let's reach up. Get so tall here. Hands come together as we exhale through our center right back into that standing forward bend. Planting the hands, stepping back into the plank pose. Now the hips come back as we press back into the down dog. So the left leg is going to float up. Lots of strength here. Reach into that left heel as if you were trying to pull that left leg from out of the left hip socket. Now let's bend that left knee up, stack the hips, bring the knee up toward the ceiling. Find a lot of length in the front hip flexor and the thigh. Now either stay in here, or if you'd like to go a little bit further, we take the right foot or the left foot to the right floor as we roll over the right foot, open up the chest, bring the hips up, reach to the fingertips into the wild thing. Bringing left hand down, rolling onto the toes of right foot, left leg comes right back up. Let's bring the knee to nose. Finding contraction in the core. Inhaling right back up. And now let's take that knee over to the right elbow. Extend the leg out. Drop the hips. Bring the hips back up. Knee to nose. Take the leg right back up. The left leg comes down to meet the right as we press back into the down dog. Let's bring the shoulders over wrists as the knees come to the mat, top of the feet come to the mat. Let's take the hips back to the heels. Let's flip the palms up, let the wrist rest. As we come over legs, let the forehead come to mat. And take about 3 nice deep breaths in our Balasana and a child's pose. So the hands come down, come up to the tabletop, toes curl under, hips come up, press those hips back, down dog. Looking at our hand, the right foot is going to come forward. We're going to take that left heel down, parallel to the back of the mat, and pushing off with left hand, we come into our warrior two. So let's find the body between the two legs. Let's find the legs pressing, not only down, but away from each other. The arms are extended. We're reaching up through the torso, through the crown of the head, and we're focused on middle finger. Take a nice breath here. So the left hand's going to glide down the back of the left leg. Right arm floats up and reaches up, or maybe even over. Let's keep that right knee bent. Coming right back into our warrior two. Now the right elbow is going to come to right knee. Left arm floats up. Stay here if you want to go a little bit deeper. Let's glide that right hand down to the inside of the right shin. Press the tricep on the knee, knee back on tricep, and reach through left fingers. So the left hand floats down. Now we're going to walk our hands to the long side of the mat and bring the toes toward the front of the mat, or the side of the mat. This hands under shoulders. Let's find length in the back. Reach to the crown of the head. Now we're just going to bring the crown of the head down toward the mat. And just breathe. Just relax into the frame. Let the legs go. Let the hips open. So bringing the torso back up. Now we're going to bring the heels in, the toes are out, and we're going to take the hips down. Hands come to knees as we press ourselves up into the goddess pose. So let's make the hips very heavy. Take a breath here, feel the strength of the legs. Now straighten the legs, reaching the arms up. Just reach up and get tall. And coming right back down into the goddess. Heavy hips, a little deeper perhaps. Let's take the arms out and reach out. Now let's straighten the legs as we come up, reach up, get tall, and come right back into the goddess. Let's reach the arms out long. The hands come together. Pause just a moment here. Now bending from the hips, lengthening the legs, coming right back into, let's bring the heels back behind the toes. One last time, let's just let go in this forward bend. Now we're going to walk our hands toward the front of the mat, pivot the feet forward on the toes of the back foot. As we place our hands on the mat, picking up right leg, let's take it right back up to the ceiling. Right foot comes down beside the left, finding ourselves in our down dog. Now look at our hands and pick up left foot. Let's take it to the inside of left hand. Runner's lunge, let those hips be heavy. Now let's take the right foot, the blade of the foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Windmilling our arms up as we come into our warrior two. So let's take that left knee open toward the pinky toe side of the foot. Make sure that we're pressing strongly through right foot and reaching to the crown of the head. Right hand glides down the back of the right leg, reaching up with the left, perhaps even over into our exalted frame. Let's inhale right back down,
to our warrior two. The elbow comes to knee on the left side. Right arm floats up. If you'd like to go a little further, just take that left hand inside the left knee, press the two together, stack the shoulders, reach the right fingertips. Right hand floats down. Let's walk ourselves over to the right side of along the side of our mat. The toes come out, the heels come in. We're going to come right back into the goddess position. Now extending the arms out, bringing the arms together. The left comes under right, giving ourselves a big hug here. And we're going to curl the elbows toward the floor. And inhale back up. Let's take the arms out, hips low. And now right arm comes under left as we give ourselves just a big hug here. Let's curl the elbows down toward the floor. Inhaling back up, the arms come back out. Now taking the hands together behind us, interlacing the fingers, the palms come together. Let's open up the chest. Let's start bending the knee, bend at the hips, lengthening through the legs. The arms float up and perhaps over. Now bring the hands to the back of our hips. Let's let them fall back to the mat. And walking our hands back to the front of the mat, the feet pivot. Now the left hand is going to come to we're going to heel toe that foot to the outside of the left hand. Picking up right foot, we're going to bring it to the outside of the right hand. Toes are out. Heels are in. As the hips start to descend heavily down behind us, let's bring the back of the hands together and just spend a couple of nice breaths in our yogi squat. Your heels may reach the floor, they may not. In time and with practice, they probably will. But just let the hips become so very heavy here. This is a wonderful hip opener, spine lengthener, working on our balance and working on our focus. Now the hands are gently going to fall down behind us as we bring ourselves to a seated position. Let's take the legs long. The toes are up and remove the excess flesh from the sit bones. Let's take this torso tall, the chest is open. Now we're going to bring our hands about halfway down the thigh, maybe a little bit closer to the knees. Let's take the arms into the body and lean forward. Keeping the elbows tucked into the body, legs strong. We're going to pick the hips up. Slowly let the hips down. Let's roll our shoulders. Let's take again, repeating that, taking the palms to the mat, elbows come into the body. Picking those hips up, strong legs. And slowly letting ourselves down. Let's come back into a tall position. And let's lean back onto the sit bones. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat, extend the arms out. And then one foot comes up. Maybe the other can follow into our boat pose. If you'd like to, you can extend the legs out. Now let's bring the soles of the feet to the mat. hands behind us. The fingertips are toward the hips, and we're going to take the hips up into a reverse tabletop. So opening up the front of the shoulders, take those hips up high. Now press it into the left foot, right knee comes up, extend the right leg up as we place the right ankle over left knee. Let's let that right knee just fall open. Let's remember to keep those hips high. Now the hips come down to the mat, keeping the ankle over the knee. Let's reverse the position of our hands. Let's open the chest and press the chest toward our legs. If you'd like a little bit more sensation here, you can pick the hips up, bring them closer to the left heel. Let's just take a breath here, opening up these tight, tight outer hips. It's gotten warm in here, it feels like hot yoga now. So let's take the right foot down, pick the hips up, take the fingertips back toward the hips, press down to the feet, take those hips up, press up. Pressing through right foot, left knee comes up, extend left leg. Let's take that ankle over right knee, let that left knee fall open, and let's keep those hips up. The hips come down. Reversing our hands, pressing our chest toward our left thigh. A little bit more sensation. We pick the hips up, take them closer to right heel. Let's keep the chest open and just relax. Just breathe into it. Bring the hips back if you've moved them. Let's take the left foot to the mat. Extend the legs back out. Again, removing the flesh from the sit bones. Now let's let the legs be real passive here. We're going to go into Paschimottanasana, a seated forward bend. Often I would have you engage the body for this position, but we're going to make this one just very, very relaxed. So the arms reach up. Keeping the legs soft, let's just fall forward and the hands land wherever they land. Let's let the back completely soften. Nowhere to be on this one, just allowing the lengthening of the back body. So let's bring our hands in beside our hips, gently press ourselves up. The arms extend out in front of us. Now let's engage those legs yet again and start to fall back toward our mat using our core strength to determine how quickly or how slowly we descend down to a flat back. The knees come up. Let's give ourselves a big hug. Now the arms are going to come out shoulder height, palm down. Let's let those knees just fall over to the left side. Let's think about that right shoulder staying planted on the mat if that's possible. So I'll take a big deep inhale in and completely surrender into this twist. Bring the knees back up. And now the next exhale, let's let the knees fall
over to the right side. Again, the left shoulder stays heavily in the mat if it's possible. Maybe looking at the left wall with your left hand as you totally surrender into this flow. Onto our backs. Just take the palms up. Extend one leg to the outside of the mat, the other leg is to the outside of the mat. Let's all take a big, deep inhale in. Really feel the body. And slowly let go of the breath, very slowly, very consciously. Feeling the breath leave your body, feeling the sinking of the body into the mat as we close our eyes and we find the most important posture, that is one of Shavasana, the final resting place. Learning to allow the body to relax when we so desire it to happen. Most of us remain in fight or flight syndrome, very contracted, stressed. This is where we give the body the opportunity to calm down, to let go. Because of our time constraint, we're going to come out of Shavasana now, but I invite you to return to it for as long as it feels good to you when we complete this class. So just bring the knees in, cross the ankles, grab our toes as we roll back up to a seated position. Finding our comfortable cross-legged position, bringing our hands to our heart and humbly bowing our hands. And this is where we practice gratitude. A gentle reminder to ourselves of all the wonderful, wonderful things in our lives. We practice this at the end of class. We've opened up these energy channels. There's so much positive energy in the body right now. Let's conclude that with giving thanks to the universe for all the gifts that we take for granted every day. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait till we're back together. Our thumbs come to the area between the eyebrows, the